Hey, it's Pablo back with another video. I'm just gonna quickly kind of go over the Armies Farming event with some big tips on how to maximize elves. In my opinion, elves are one of the most important Armies Farming events. Outside of like maybe warp dragons or mammoths. I think it's pretty high up there. Oh, skeletons. Skeletons and elves are the two premier Armies Farming events that if you're strong enough to hit them, just go all out. And one thing that's better about elves than skeletons is that with elves, there are lower tier troops, which means there's just a lower barrier to entry. Doesn't show it on here, but in addition to the level 9s that I'm mainly focusing on, there are also, looks like somebody's coming near me. I don't mind now. In addition to these level 9s that I'm farming, all these level 9s, or 8s. Wow. Yeah, level 8s that I'm farming with 10 million power. For a lot of players, it's hard to burn down 10 million power. So it's pretty good to farm the 7s. And I think there might be 6s. Yeah, and 6s right here. Oh, no, that's an 8. Again, I just woke up, went straight to Armies Farming. I think 7s might be the lowest, actually. But they're pretty doable for most players. So, if you're in full spec, they're no different than pretty much farming some dwarves. And just because of that, they drop some crazy loot. And again, these things are at very, very small quantities, but on every kill, you get a chest, and in each one of the chests, there's about this much of a drop rate of each of these items. And I'm really hoping my camp killed correctly. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of show you guys some tips on how to farm these. I had some comments on, people either struggling to farm them or not knowing what to do. I think the first rule of thumb is if you're not strong enough to march the higher level armies, just don't. Stay in your lane. Focus on what you can hit. If you can hit 6 or 7 9s or 8s, then go ahead and do that. But if you can't, don't waste your time. You're hurting yourself because you can get way more chests with significantly less casualty, and you'll just be able to hit more, hitting your tier, versus trying to hit these bigger tier ones and you're spending 2 marches for 2 chests instead of spending 1 march that you can split into 2 marches on 2 chests. You're literally getting the same amount of chests, and the drop rates on the 9s are so low that it's really not worth it, because the drop rates on the 8s are the drop rates on the 7s are just as low as the drop rates on the 8s. So here, because we're at a time of relative peace, what I did is I went ahead and I broke up my armies into these war camps. Makes it really easy to work around the map. It takes a little more work. Like, for instance, I know that I'm kind of marching with 2 out of that one out of the bottom corner one, and 3 out of this one. So looks like he took that one. I know that some people do try to take armies from other people. And when it gets really competitive, you know, I get it. But right now, I'm not that desperate. I'm just going to go look for something over here. Dang, it's getting kind of dry. Yeah, it's for sure getting dry. Everyone's probably online because we're getting ready for an RVR, which really sucks with the overlap of Elves and RVR, because in RVR, it's probably still going to be more worth it to gold personals. Like, just the rewards from personals are so nice that I'm gonna be stuck all day, and we're up against a massive server, so I'm gonna be stuck all day, mostly gathering and hitting foes. So I can't do jack, but I still want these rewards, and I really need these Pantheon sigils. So getting a couple extra 1,000 speed ups it's fantastic, but if it crowds out my ability to get Pantheon sigils, it's kind of not worth it. And also just making sure our alliance can gold and things like that, like just another plus. But so yeah, that's basically the first step. Well, actually, the first step is making sure all of your buffs are on. Make sure you have some combat buffs. I actually didn't put them all on. I only put the ranged on. I didn't have a melee this morning, so I guess that just dropped from an army I hit like today. But yeah, I'm not even gonna look for that. I'm just gonna waste everyone's time. And here we go. This is some live action gameplay of what we actually do all day. We just hit these armies. That's it. Simple as that. Make sure you have your max combat spec on. You know, your Reichlands, your Cuirass, your Van Braces. Yeah, I think my Van Braces are still better than my Chosen on Armies marches, the multi-marches, as well as your Hexamatic or whatever you end up having. And for anyone that doesn't know, calming icon of the sloth is super helpful. Like, I've done the math on it, and if I were to estimate that each of the armies that I hit based off the math, I can look at how many points and assume how many armies, because I've only hit 9 so far, how many chests that's worth. And essentially, I've gotten more chests than I expected. So I think that might be partially in part to... Oh, I found Sai. There he is. I don't know if he just TP'd there or if I just didn't see him. But yeah, I'm gonna just let him have it. He I guess while I was asleep, he went and tried to push toward my goal. The reason why nobody's probably gonna hit me on this one or won't get that close. I mean, Sai got pretty close, but it's just I didn't have any work on Friday, so I just went straight at it. So on top of having your buffs on, you're also going to want to make sure you have the right gear on and your champion skills. You're going to want to spec for your damage. I didn't go full damage. I went like, halfway down the tree, picked up Cane Blades, Unholy Accuracy, Unholy Armor, but I didn't, I picked up this Unholy Accuracy too. But I didn't go ahead and pick up the Unholy Armor for like maximum, because I still wanted to be able to finish up some rituals and stuff. So I picked up my ritual tree too. Didn't pick up Slave Driver, didn't pick up, Construction. Just went pretty much straight for this, didn't pick up Exalted Presence. Just kind of went for my core focus. Try to have some resources stacked up before this event, because as you could see, food and wood I've blown through. I blew through a lot of iron. At one point I was negative 2 million iron, and I didn't want to stop farming, so I just kept going. And you're going to take a lot of CWAD damage. And I'm already kind of cutting into my other troops that aren't CWADs. Like, let's see. Like, I have some gores that are taking damage on that's actually really bad. But my C-Watts are diminishing on a lot of these, especially from the war camps, because I can't really like manage the war camps. They're kind of just there. So I know that I'm pretty much done with most of my army's farming, and it won't matter at the end of the day. But it's probably hurting a fair amount at this point. But I could ask somebody in my alliance for some feed, but then I'd have to steal some resources and cut into them. So I don't know. If anybody's up for it, maybe I'll take the offer. But like, feed is just like, getting someone to feed you some resources. But getting feed for an event is just kind of like, what, you couldn't do the event on your own. It just kind of like doesn't always have the best luck. I know them first, but we'll see. Dang, I really can't find an army near this top side. All right, you guys are gonna see me go for the first 7. If there's even a 7, there's no 7s. Wow. I'll take this. I think I'm gonna cut it down to 5 marches at least while I'm waiting. Let's see if anyone gets me. So yeah, like Discord. I actually did a quick math on, kind of how many chests drop per 9, chests collected tally, elves hit, and dude, if you hit freaking, like 7 million power on this event, you get 10 hours of speed ups for both ritual and construction at the same time. So 20, I wrote that wrong. It's 20 days of speed ups. Or 10 days of speed ups plus 10 days, 20 days of speed ups. Plus, you get all this silver leaf for Ferglite, as well as free warp, 16 8-hour shields, 16 shrouds, 4 resets for both Vanquish and Champion. And this is an estimate based off the drop rate. Warp, Silverleaf, and a bunch of prestige points, which is spelled wrong. I just quickly typed this in to get a good idea. And this isn't even including what the elves themselves drop. This is just what you'll get from the chests. And the chests are probably more important than what the elves drop, but even outside of that, just from elves, I think I got 2 or 3 Vanquish resets because I had 0 tokens before this. And now I have 2 or 3. I already blew 1 to reset my stamina. And I reset my stamina just so that I could slowly regain some and get some free hits for the LWL. And that'll be nice because I'm actually going to be AFK for a majority of the LWL. So I'm probably going to be spending some pots in order to make up for the fact that I won't gather the full duration. But most importantly, I think a lot of people don't really know how to cash in Silverleaf. I've had a couple questions about this, and I'm sorry for making a late video. Ruger just reminded me because I guess somebody told him and he figured it out. But you go to the maps and you go to bookmarks, and then you go to this port right here, and you enter the store, and boom, it shows you how many Silverleafs you have and how much it costs for a 10-pack of Ferglite, Runes of Domination. I guess you could get Pantheon Sigils. I might need some if I can't, finish my fetish, which is honestly not a bad option. But I kind of want to finish my my Blood Bastion skin, and then I'm probably going to go into these Runes of Domination, but they're so freaking expensive. So we'll see, because I just got this Undivided skin, and I really want to start dumping some points into it. Like, it's pretty weak now, and it probably, in terms of damage, is still outscaled by this Gore Fountain, but eventually it's going to swap, just because the Undivided melee damage bonus and the range damage bonus, once we switch to Undivided, and I already have a ton of Undivided from Gores and stuff, and my son's in Nilchif, even though I can't craft them myself, just picking them up from events and stuff over time. And yeah, that's gonna be a massive buff. So the freaking next upgrade's like 1,000 though, so I might not even get enough from this event, but one can dream, right? So yeah, just some background on, you know, how to do this. It's not rocket science. I really, the main thing is if you're like 21 and see, Rocky's strong. Like, Rocky's pretty strong. He's multi-marching these. He's doing fine. He's one-hitting them, right? You can still do it at Keep 21 with the maxed gear out and a ton of Seawats and Gores, but like, I don't want to call somebody out, but I've definitely seen some people who appear to be big with just a lot of fluff troops and rainbow packs and whatever, running it down and just getting slammed. Or like champion marching and then marching with the second march. I try to tell my guys not to do it, but it's just not worth it. Like, there are 6s or there are 7s right there. Don't go for the 8s. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. All right, have a good one. Bye.